We are muted there. Hey guys, what's going on? It is Dan the Mushroom Man. It has been a while since I have been live. 41 days to be exact. And obviously I forgot how to go live because I muted my mic there. But thank you guys. Thanks for all the tag there. What's going on, Rasta? Rasta, what's going on? I actually looked back to when I went live last, and it has been since May 22nd. So it's been 41 days. Time flies when you're having fun. And that's what I've been doing, guys. Been a busy ass 5 weeks, probably the busiest 5 weeks of my life in the last couple of years, I would say, 100% easily. Busy in a good way. But how's everybody doing tonight? We're just going to sit here for a minute and get this hashtag going. But I made a post on my Great River Mushrooms page a week ago, and I said if it got over 30 likes, I would give away some money on the next live. So that's what we're doing tonight. We're going to give away two $10 twice and then some lion's mane. So stay tuned here, and I'll just cash app Venmo, however somebody's $10. So let's get some people in here. And I got to live by my word because you guys actually crushed it. Not only did you get 30 likes, but that post got 60 likes. So that's why I feel like I should give away some more, and I guess we'll see how the night goes here. But let me get that hashtag going here. And as always, it's going to be straight cash, homie. Whenever I give away cash, I got to go with that old hashtag, straight cash, homie. Let me get that up here. But I hope everybody's having a great June. We're already in July, and I'm actually leaving on vacation tomorrow, so I thought I'd go live tonight because I'm not going to be able to go live for probably another week or two after tonight again. But what's going on, Rasta? How you doing? Ganji lovers, what is up? Shane, thanks for all the tags again. And it has been a hell of a 5 weeks. I said it in a very, very good way. I got a brand new truck from my company that I work for. I mean, you can't really beat that. And it is a daily driver. I get to drive it around. I get to keep it. It is my truck to keep as my own. Obviously, if I ever lose my job, I have to give it back. But it's a 2023 Ford F-250, and I love it. I'm happy. I also just happened to get some equipment this past week, so I'm going to show that to you tonight. So I need to get that hashtag going, straight cash, homie, guys. And I'm going to give away some money tonight. And I need to do some more shares here. I'm probably down in the algorithm because I haven't been alive in 41 days. Please share out to your friends, tag some people in. Somebody's going to win some money tonight. It's going to be you or going to be your friends. And also some interesting new information about camels curing disease. I'm going to kind of talk about that tonight because what they are doing with camels is very similar to what lion's mane actually does to your brain. So it's very interesting. There's that straight cash, homie. That'll get you in the giveaway. Again, I'm going to give away two $10. $10 twice to somebody. It's $10 straight cash. I'll send it to your Venmo Cash App. And I got to do some more tagging here. Please tag your friends in as well. Hit that like, share, hit that reaction button for me, please, very much. And tomorrow I'm going to the Lake of the Ozarks. Finally, going on vacation. It has been quite a while where I didn't have to worry about, doing everything that I do. So I get a little mental break. Mr. Burns, what's going on? Shane Bundy, yeah, I got a bowl here ready to smoke. I just got to do these little more tags, and then we'll partake in that. Please tag some more people in. I think I've shared out to about all the groups. And hit that hashtag. Gonna give away some cash. But man, it's been a busy. We only got 3 entries in. It's been a busy month. That's for sure. That's for sure, Gabriel. Throw them in the lake. Huh. I've been working 75-hour days with the roofing company. Basically, my day starts at 5:30 when I leave my house. and I typically have gotten back home between around, I'd say about 8 o'clock at night. So those are pretty long days, and especially when you do them 5 days in a week for a whole month. And but we get 10 days off for 4th of July, so we worked hard, and now we get to play hard, and that's what I'm about to do. Good evening, Kathleen. How you doing? Ross, I hope you had a good day. I know there's been a lot going on with both of us this week. With me getting that piece of new equipment, I actually got to play with it earlier tonight, and it's fantastic. It's gonna make my life so much easier. And if you guys didn't know, I got a flow hood. Let me make this other screen a little smaller. I got a Luminar flow hood, and a Luminar flow hood is basically a device that basically filters the air. It's a big deal for mycology people like me because it is required to grow mushrooms that you have a proper flow hood. And the one that I did have was okay. I mean, on a 1 to 10 scale, it was probably like a 7. The one that I just purchased now that I own is a 10. It is basically the best you can get on the market right now. Unless you go to scientific equipment where you're going like lab grade, but then you're spending 10 grand. So I got one of these yesterday. I drove 2.5 hours to Illinois, and I ended up getting this piece of equipment and driving it back. And I got a really good deal on it. But it's necessary to spend money to make money, as they say, especially in the mushroom cultivation business. So basically, this is going to allow me. The biggest deal is going to allow me to have 2 people work at once in front of this unit, and I am going to hire an employee, and I'm moving my lab into a larger room, so that's going to allow me and the employee both to work in the lab at the same time. As in previously, my lab was a 5x10 tent. Try working with 2 people in there; it's nearly impossible. So it's really a game changer in mushroom cultivation that I do. But please hit that like, share, reaction button. I need to tag some more people here. Just looking for this. Tag some of my supporters in who actually buy mushroom from me a lot, and I think I want to get them to get into this contest. And man, but I've been to 2 farmers markets, also the last 3 farmers markets since you guys have seen me last. All of them have been record sales. I mean, it really can't be any better than it has been. Anything that I've been able to grow mushroom wise, I've been able to sell. I've been really able to minimize my cost and increase my profits over the last 5 weeks as well. So it's been an awesome month for Great River Mushrooms and Herbal. We haven't been able to go to all the farmers markets. It's hard for me to do that still. I do need to rest, but we'll eventually get there. Thanks for the tag, Rasta. And again, need to tag some more people in here. Please tag some of your friends in. We're giving away some cash. You can't really beat that. No questions asked. You just have to be present to win. And I haven't been live in a while, so I always assume when you don't go live for a while, the Facebook kind of moves you down in the algorithm, which is pretty normal. So let's move it up a little bit, tag some people in here. Let's get some more people in here. I'm going to show off some of this awesome equipment that I bought because it's got me excited again about mushroom cultivating. And it's good to get equipment that makes you excited for what you already love, because sometimes it gets stale after a while. You're doing something you like for a while and you still enjoy it, but you don't enjoy it maybe as much as you used to. And sometimes a new learning method or a new piece of equipment can get you excited again. At least that's the way I try to look at life. Try to get excited for what you do every day. Got a lot of tags in here. Got a few more. Man. All right. Get back over here. We got 11 people in that entry. Chuck Rock messaged me earlier. It was good to hear from him. I have not been very social besides on Gabe's show very much lately. So I have been talked to a lot of people in the podcasting community because I've been so busy for 5 weeks. And I'll continue to be busy basically the rest of the summer, but not as busy. We've been running 2 jobs for a month, so I've been running 2 crews. And that's why I've been working such long hours. But what's going on, Ted? Hey, Sandra, how you doing? Adam, we're giving away some cash, straight cash, homie. Just enter that hashtag. I can sometimes give away cash, and there was a post that I made the other day on my Great River Mushrooms page, which you're either live on one of the. We got 16 people live on my page and 3 over on the Great River Mushrooms and Herbal page. But I made a post on the Great River Mushrooms page that if we got 30 reactions, I'd give away some cash. And you guys came through, and so we're giving away some money. $10. $10 to the winner. We'll do that twice, and then we're going to give away a bottle of Lion's Mane. But nice to see you, Adam. Thanks for coming and stopping in here. First time we're here. Thank you, Lindsay. It is a bomb-ass machine. I know a lot of people probably don't know what it means or what it means to an amateur mycologist, but it is a big deal. And the fact that they are very expensive, but there are guys out there that spend $5,000 on those units. It's insane. I didn't pay that much for mine, but there are a lot of wealthy amateur mycologists out there. And I know of this because I follow a lot of them in groups. And there are a lot of people who have a lot of money who just buy these units because they have the money to spend. And they like to do experimentation in their house with these things. So if you're ever dealing with any kind of work where you have to have a sterile environment, whether you're doing lab work, some kind of testing, mycology work, janitorial, as a hospital, stuff like that, is the HEPA filter is required. And the HEPA filters are quite expensive. Yeah, Adam, a hobby can turn into a business like mine did. That's how I started. And there is definitely plenty of room for more mycology businesses out there. Like I don't have any competition right now, and there's I can't provide enough mushrooms at the moment. There's definitely room for people to grow mushrooms that I can't, fit the market. And so I'd say in my area, there's definitely room for 2 more businesses, mushroom businesses, and we would all thrive. So it's the same way in a lot of the cities as well. If you know what you're doing, you grow good mushrooms, you can make a legit living doing it. Test, yep. And I also am a little bit different because my business is Great River Mushrooms and Herbal. So I have an Herbal side too, where I like to mess around with CBD, CBG. I also have all the supplements, the Lion's Mane supplements that I sell as well. Rice sheep, turkey tail, Lion's Mane. Check out greatrivermushrooms.com. Tons of reviews too. That's what I tell people, that they're like, are these good products? I'm like, well, I stand by my word. I would never make something that I didn't think was good, but go to the website. There's a lot of reviews on a lot of the items, and a lot of the people left good reviews that can tell you whether they're good or not. Please leave reviews as well if you haven't. That's like I always said, eventually there's going to be a giveaway with whoever leaves reviews. Thank you, Rasta. It's very easy to understand website. Yeah, I understand that, Shane, too. That's I think it's the strain. So this last batch of honey, I went back to a different strain of cannabis. So the last dose of honey, I used a strain called Do-si-do, and I do agree with you that it is a nice buzz, but it doesn't last very long. Not sure why. Because most strains that have a nice initial buzz usually last a long time, but it more than likely is just the genetics. But very good for pain. But this last batch of honey that I made with my Ophelia strain, and I've never had complaints about that. That stuff is strong. I make sure that it's 20 milligrams per teaspoon. So I don't think I'm going to use the other strain to make the honey anymore. So I always want to provide the best products because I took some of the honey too, and I tried some of the Fico. Fico had a really good initial high, but then it kind of weaned off. But again, I think it might have also been the way I prepared it. So I'm making a new method of preparing my honey and my coconut oil in a different way. So I think it will be better as I get better at it. Hey, Chad, what's going on? Yeah, it also lights a fire under me too. When I get competition near me, it makes me do what I do better, because I know that if I don't do what I do good, there's going to be somebody behind me that can do it better, and that's why I offer a lot of different products that other mushroom companies will never offer. Herbal medicine. I have my own soup brand. I also offer elderberry syrup. And so the herbal medicine and my own soup brand really sets me apart. And that's why I invite competition, because I'm like, you want to bring competition, and you're going to invite the best out of me then, because I'm going to be firing on all cylinders. So that's why competition is good, because it does light a fire under me too. And it's needed in our area. And that's the way everybody should be accepted for other businesses, but then be highly competitive when it happens. Because if you're not competitive, you're not going to be offering the best product. Because competition is what creates, that's what creates really good products. You only have one person making some product out there, they can get lazy at it, then you don't have a choice but to buy it. Mile Joe mile away. That's how you grow them magic mushrooms. Yep, I've done that in my past. I haven't been doing it. I haven't done it in about 18 months, but man, I do miss it. Growing magic mushrooms is a very intriguing thing in life, and then also consuming them as well. But yeah, the elderberry syrup. I haven't made it in a while. I usually take it a lot more in the winter. And that's when I sell a lot more of it, because people are sick a lot more then. I always say elderberry syrup is great if you are going somewhere where you're going to be around a lot of sick people. It's also amazing if you're already sick. And I got sick right before I actually stopped going live. And I took elderberry syrup for about 10 straight days. And I swear by it that I thought I was going to get really sick, and I didn't. One night I actually thought I was going to wake up in the morning and be like very ill, and I was a lot better. So that elderberry syrup, that's the only thing that I claim maybe did it. But man, elderberry syrup, and there are plenty of studies that show that if it actually lessens the duration of a virus by 4 days, and it does that by preventing the virus from replicating. So that's why elderberry syrup works so well, and there are science to prove that it basically keeps the virus from replicating, and eventually your immune system will kill all of it out. That's funny. I remember when I first started growing that I grew a tub it grew like they grew like this big. They were like 8 inches long, and they were growing. They were reaching for the top. And the great thing about magic mushrooms, even if they're unlike marijuana, if they reach for light, that's a good thing because you're going to grow them out longer. Mushrooms are going to be more psychedelic in it. That was one of the most intriguing things I've ever grown with that tub, and the whole thing was just full of mushrooms that were like 8 inches long, and just a huge flush. So that was awesome. Hard to do to get a flush like that, but once in a while you do. What's going on, Rose? Jenna, how you doing? Yeah, Jenna, you've brought in the elderberry syrup for me, and it is good. Interesting. Well, I don't know about with the ingredients I put in it. I do have my elderberry syrup has 5 ingredients, so it does have that elderberry syrup, honey, ginger, cloves, and then cinnamon. So it's 5 ingredients basically. They're all really good for the immune health. And if you didn't know, elderberry syrup kind of has a bitter taste if you eat it by itself. So the honey really makes it a lot sweeter. We got 21 entries. So the story that I was looking at the other day, that I was talking in the comments about camels. So apparently camels have some kind of micro antibody that allows them to travel past the bacteria's immune system. So basically, our antibodies are bigger than a camel's. So a camel has a very, very small antibody, and science has now recently, a university been able to attach things onto these micro antibodies. And these antibodies, this is a big deal because these antibodies are able to actually sneak past cancer immune systems, bacteria, some viruses that aren't curable. And I recently saw it, and they're basically it's having a very similar effect to the same thing lion's mane does. So they are actually using these micro antibodies to target Alzheimer's too, in nearly the same fashion that lion's mane does naturally. So lion's mane is a mushroom that I grow. It is a superfood. It basically helps regenerate your neuroregeneration of your brain. So it helps regenerate broken nerves. That's why it help with brain fog. It also helps remove plaque, and this plaque is what they're targeting in these micro antibodies. They're targeting the plaque, and basically the antibodies are attacking the plaque and somehow removing it, and in turn maybe even being able to cure Alzheimer's. So this is a very much a similar fashion that lion's mane that works. And that's why I ended up watching this 45-minute documentary on Discovery World about it. It was really interesting. And they're basically using what camels, sharks, and llamas already have. They have this micro immune system or inside of them that they're the only 3 organisms that have it in it that we know of, 3 mammals. And they think so because they're very old animals. They're actually sharks and camels have been around, they say, for 50 million years, that they're that old. So maybe they have ancient DNA, who knows? But either way, we're using nature to kind of trick our bodies, and it's very interesting. So they're also going to be able to put radiation. So this was another thing they're going to use it for, to treat cancer. So imagine having cancer, say in your liver, and your liver is inside your body. They can't really target it from the outside. They're going to be able to attach some kind of radioactive material on to the antibody, and the antibody will be able to target the liver. And it's very interesting. It's going to lead to a lot of discoveries, I believe, and a lot of cures, maybe. We'll see. But they've known about this camel thing since the 80s, but nobody's ever been able to break through into nanotechnology where we can attach things to very small microbodies. So I invite you to check it out. There's a lot of stories out about it, and the other one was Discovery World. It's a 45-minute documentary on it, and it's free to watch on YouTube. And very informative too. It's being done by, I believe, a university in America and then a university in Europe are both studying these, and they both had some big breakthroughs recently. That's why there was a story about it. JD, yes, I do a lot of gourmet mushrooms. That's basically what I do. I sell at the farmer's market, only the oyster mushrooms. I'm sorry, my gourmet mushrooms are only sold at the farmer's market. I can't really ship them. So I grow blue oysters, shiitakes, lion's mane, pink oysters, something called tarragon oysters, elm oysters. I'm missing some more, some chestnuts. I have my own soup line too, and I basically switch between a few things, whatever I'm growing. I've grown the blue oyster, the pink oyster, and shiitake soup that I have, and they're amazing. They're really good. And I'm not just saying that because I make it, but it's good. There's some good reviews on the website too. What is going on? Thanks, JD. Don't forget to get in that giveaway. We're giving out some straight cash. I can't believe anybody who doesn't want money. Giving away $10 here. I'm going to give it away here. And man, they are shooting off some boomers outside. Some loud fireworks. At least they're doing it at 8:45 and not 3 a.m. Because they start doing it at 3 a.m. and waking my ass up, I'm not going to be happy. What's going on, Gabe? How you doing? Boom shakalaka. That was a good entrance because right when you said boom shakalaka, a big boomer went off outside. Then boomers. Well, there's fireworks and then there's boomers. And anybody who knows what a boomer is, it means a mortar. Somebody's shooting straight mortars off of probably about 3 houses down. And the shitty thing is, I have my lab is in my basement. There are absolutely no windows in my downstairs garden. So when I hear these big booms, I think somebody is breaking in my house or is in my house. And then for a split second, I realize, oh yeah, somebody's shooting off some boomers. Because they do shake the house. But it happened earlier when I was in my lab. I heard a big boom. And I have a little bit of PTSD because I've had my house raided by the cops, and I know what it sounds like. And for a split second, you're like, "Oh shit, it's happening again!" And then you realize somebody's shooting boomers off. So don't forget that too. You give people who've had their house raided PTSD when you shoot off these boomers. And I say that because when they raid your house, it's always a knock, knock, knock with police department, and then they hit it with the big stick, and that's where the big boom comes from. But for those of you who don't know, I got my house raided in 2016 for growing cannabis. Not a big deal. It was a big deal to the state of Illinois, but not a big deal to anybody else. But luckily, they didn't kick my door in. I opened the door for them because I actually thought I was getting robbed. So I looked out the window and all I saw were ununiformed people. I didn't see what the front officer was the uniform officer. I couldn't see him. So the minute I thought I was getting robbed, I grabbed a baseball bat and went to the door. And that's when I realized it was the cops. And I went down to the ground. But yeah, I ended up serving 30 days in jail for it. 30 days work release, 2.5 years of probation. And look at it now. We're 2024. It's completely legal now. But they still have not exonerated my charge yet. Eventually, it will be. Camels are mean as shit, yeah. Eventually, I think it will be as it's written in the law. But my charge was a class 3 felony. I ended up pleading guilty to possession of 20 to 50 sativa plants, and they ended up dropping the possession of 5,000 plus grams with intent to deliver, which in Illinois is a class 1 felony, but minimum of 8 months in prison, It's shitty, you know. Like they're trying to throw people in prison for growing cannabis. Luckily, the state's attorney and the police department were very aware that they didn't want to send somebody to prison for something like that. So that we made sure that worked out a deal. So it all worked out in the end. Yeah, right, Shane. Hey, but for a split second, when you think you're getting robbed, you're going to use whatever protection you might have. So I was about to fight the police department. I was about to fight if anybody was trying to rob me. And they were robbing the wrong guy. Well, a lot of the cannabis I had was not dry. So when they arrested me and I got charged with all this weight, it really was weird in Illinois. I had like 2 pounds of glycerin. Anybody who knows what glycerin is, it's used to make candy. And I had infused it with cannabis. So anything that is infused with cannabis and tests positive is counted in that weight. So I literally had 2 pounds of glycerin and it counted as 2 pounds of cannabis. So I had this stuff all over my house. I had infused cannabis, infused coconut oil, infused honey, as any normal pothead would. It's not hard to get up to 5,000 grams. In reality, I only had about 1.5 pounds of cannabis dry. So, but those laws are stupid when they compare, liquids to cannabis flower because they don't know how much you actually put in and infused it with. It tests positive for cannabis, but I could have put like 5 grams in it, and that's all it has in it. But those laws, I believe, have changed, and hopefully are a lot better. But there are still laws out there that base it on weight, no matter how potent it is. Yeah, it's really, really stupid. What's going on, Wera? How you doing? Don't forget to get in that giveaway. Give away some straight cash. I think I tagged. Do I need to tag some more people in here? I will. What's everybody doing tonight? What's everybody smoking on? I'm smoking on some strain called some Turple. And some stuff I grew. It's actually a cross with, it's a blueberry. It has a blueberry smell. Tagging a few more people in here. Who doesn't want to win some money, Tagging some people in I haven't seen in a while. Well, mostly because I haven't been live in a while. Pineapple runts that I grew, heck yeah. Watching Atlas. Is that the movie Atlas? Yeah, there are. Texas used to be one of the worst, but they're getting better, at least with some of their laws. We got 23 entries. Let me get that timer going. We'll give it 4 minutes. We'll give away that money. If I learn how to use my timer, there we go. Big cash on me, giving somebody some money tonight. Now that new movie, I'm on Netflix. Got 24 entries. But I was down in my lab earlier tonight, and I haven't been down there in a while because I've been so busy with work, and then I've been kind of lazy the last few days, which is needed. But we got a few orders to fulfill from some people who bought some products, some soup, some honey. But if you do order some products after tomorrow, I'll be on vacation till Sunday, so I won't be able to fulfill your order on Monday. So I appreciate some people who ended up buying some stuff earlier today, and I was able to ship it to them immediately. which is what I try to do. But we do have a whole bunch of honey I made earlier because somebody ordered 3 bottles of it. And this is the better honey. Again, we're back to the Ophelia strain. This is the honey that I've been making for about 4 or 5 years. And I've never had anybody complain. I actually have gotten raves about it because it is a stronger strain. The other strain that I did use that somebody was talking about, I just used in one batch. Man, that is a big boomer. I don't know if you guys heard that one, but it shook my house. 2 more minutes. Bring that up to the big screen. But anybody remember what Straight Cash Homie is? It's actually that reference to that football player back in the early 2000s. I can't ever remember his name. He said straight cash homie to get a contract extension. Man, they've been shooting the minute they opened them fireworks stand. They started shooting them mortars off. I'm like, some people just don't hesitate. They're like, the minute those fireworks stands start selling them. And I live next to a veterans home too, so hopefully they don't shoot them off too late because some people just don't think of there's 250 veterans across the street. So make sure when you shoot fireworks off that you're always aware where there's a bunch of veterans and just be more respectful of them. I don't mind shooting fireworks off, just be respectful to where you're around. And I had a cop do that too to my neighbor. Last year he was shooting off a big ass mortar. The cop drove by right when it went off, and the cop had no choice but to pull over. And he pulled over and he went over there, and I think that's what he said. He was like, "Hey man, there's a bunch of veterans across the street." He's like, "Man, can't you just be a little more respectful?" And didn't even write him a ticket or anything, which you could have. But sometimes just doing that. But this guy, again, this year is the one shooting off the big boomers. He obviously didn't care what that cop said to him. Maybe he was shooting them off at 11 o'clock that night, so maybe he learned to shoot them off earlier. Maybe that's what he learned. Yeah, the shrooms are definitely called boomers. It's an older term to, I guess you could call them. But let's hit this giveaway and see who's going to win some cash. Let me get my pen here so I can write down the winner. If I can find any blank sheets. And there really is no blank sheets in here. Let me get another piece of paper. Well, good luck, everybody. Straight cash, homie. Somebody's gonna win $10 here, and you got to be present to win. So let's hit it. 25 entries. Gabriel, what is going on? And congratulations. Let me get that golf clap. We gotta get the bigger one. There she is. Congratulations. We're gonna get a double applause. If you could, send me your Cash App or Venmo, and I'll send you that money. Send me some free cash. Yeah, if you put the hashtag in, Adam, it automatically enters you into the giveaway. It keeps track of it, and then it automatically picks somebody randomly. It's pretty cool. It only if you use StreamYard, which is an app you kind of stream with, it integrates into StreamYard. Now, I will say that it does have errors a lot. It does spaz out and not work. But 90% of the time, it does work okay. If you leave the hashtag up too long, it can freeze out, and then it won't let anybody else enter. And if you can't see comments, I'd always say refresh. That's probably a Facebook connection issue. Happens to me all the time too. I usually just close everything in my phone, press the close all button, re-enter into Facebook, and then you should be able to see the comments. But let's hit that again. We're going to give away that same thing, but we're going to have people enter that hashtag again. Go back here. Same hashtag. And we'll do that same hashtag again, guys. Give away twice. Congratulations, Gabriel. I'm Gabriel. Sorry. Did I say that right? Is it Gabriel or Gabriel? I guess you could say it two different ways. Really is a pronunciation. I'm sorry to hear it was a long day in the hospital, Wanda. Hopefully you have better days are ahead of you. It shows the name of people who correctly enter the hashtag. Huh. I don't know. I mean, there's a bunch of people that just enter the hashtag, so you should be seeing these people, which is pretty normal. There's a couple comments thrown in there. Yeah, I had to refresh. Refresh works so great. A lot of people. And closing your apps too. Sometimes you reached your RAM on your phone and just have to close some of your other apps for it to work more efficiently. And also, resetting your phone a couple times a week is helpful too. That's actually really healthy for your phone. If you just reset a few times a week. Let's clear out all that garbage. There we go. We got some hashtags in this one. Sure. 15 people in the giveaway. We got 21 people in the house. Don't forget to hit that reaction button. Hit that mushroom button. Well, there is no mushroom button, so just hit the heart button instead. They need to put a mushroom button on there. You know, mushrooms are so big a society now. There should be a thumbs up, a heart, care, and then a mushroom button. We're not giving away yet, Gabriel. I didn't know if I pronounced your name right again. Let's call you Gabriel. You didn't tell me if it was Gabriel or Gabriel. I didn't look. We'll give it 10 minutes. I'm going to set this timer for 10 minutes. That's what I'm looking at. Give away a bottle of Lion's Mane too. I can ship that out before I leave in the morning because I got to ship out some other things. So we'll ship out some Lion's Mane because it's been 41 days since I've been live, which is crazy to think that much time went by. And I've told people I'd give away the cash for that one post I made where we got a certain amount of reactions. Oh man, that sucks. In the state of Texas, too. That's never good. Hopefully it all works out. It doesn't go to... I was just making sure Somebody sent stars. I congratulate them. There's a space there. But if you do give stars, I wanted to share that video too. I have a video of if you do send any stars, all that money actually goes to a program I have. So let me play that real quick. Hey guys, it's Dan the Mushroom Man. Just wanted to remind you that if you donate to those Facebook stars, all those donations will go to Fungi and Friends school program at Great River Mushrooms and Herbal. And that school program is where we bring hands-on skills into the classroom to children and teach them about the fungi kingdom and the knowledge to grow those mushrooms. Again, learn more at the website greatrivermushrooms.com, folks. I'm still here. Sorry, the wind was blowing and blowing my door open. I had to go close it. But and if you send mushrooms, if you send stars, all that money goes to help that program at Fungi and Friends, which will be starting, I believe, late fall. We'll have it at a local school, and they'll be going in and kind of doing a hands-on thing with kids, teaching them how to grow mushrooms and about mushrooms. So far we have raised about $35 in stars. So in star money for that program. So I appreciate it very much. Let's pay for the supplies for that class as well as some other things. Send mushrooms, yeah. We'll start calling the stars on Facebook mushrooms. That's what I call them. Well, that always stinks, Sandra, that the guy who has the best mushrooms is no longer in service. Send mushrooms. Well, cheers, everybody. We also started selling apparel too. I didn't really share that yet, but we'll eventually have more pictures on the website, but I've only been selling these at the farmer's market. But we will have, bring myself a bigger screen. One of these is a bigger screen. Some socks. We have all kinds of mushroom themed socks. They're actually, they've been selling them. I'm still kind of experimenting with the price. But I think we're going to go with about $9 a pair. They're actually some high quality socks. I was actually pretty surprised with the fabric, but it's really soft. It doesn't appear to be cheap. And we got some other socks here. I'm a fun guy. We haven't really sold many at the farmers market, but I'm always looking at different ways to make money, and eventually I think it will. Because if I'm selling mushrooms, there's especially at the bigger markets, I think this would sell well, but I haven't been to any of the larger markets. I kind of live in a conservative city where there may not be a lot of people who kind of are into mushrooms as other big cities. They may eat them, but they may not wear mushroom socks. But sold a few pair. Get some other socks too. There's all kinds of different themes. Got some shirts too and some other things, some signs. The signs are pretty cool, but I kept most of the signs to myself, and I'll probably end up keeping them stocks for myself. But I think we ended up getting about 12 different pairs, all different kinds. These are only half of them. There's a bunch more. Couple metal signs, and then we got some of these. A metal sign. This is probably going to go in my bedroom. Mushroom treat. Yeah, but these make great giveaways as well. You'll probably see some of these items in future giveaways. So I started getting into clothing, and that's kind of what I wanted to do as well, is make them awesome giveaway products for people. Because these are pretty cool. This is metal. I had some other signs. I actually sold two of them, but one of them, and I kept two of them for myself. But they like one of them has a Beatles song on it. I can't remember the lyrics to the song. Let me go actually look at it real quick because I can't remember the lyrics. Yeah, these are the other signs, which I couldn't remember the song of the Beatles, but whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And this is a cool metal sign, but I kept it for myself. It's in my bedroom, and I'm sure I'll keep some other one. But these will be $10 on my website. Like I said, they're 10 signs. You can see how big it is. Pretty cool. And if you ever make an order from me, you can throw this in, and and get it. You probably won't pay much for shipping once you throw it in with your other stuff. And I'll just ship it in a larger envelope eventually that I'll have. Yeah, but I don't have them on the website yet, but they're just farmers market items to kind of sell here and there, and I kind of show you Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Yeah, I'm definitely a moon child too, so this one was very fitting for me, so I kept it. I definitely had some very substantial mushroom trips with. Oh, let me bring that back up. I accidentally pressed something. There we go. I had a very profound mushroom trip one night on a full moon. I'm also a Cancer, and so we have a kind of connection to the moon as well, and so it fit me very well. They used to say wild moon child. But this is also, I have my farmer's market kind of set up here. It's kind of dark, but every time I come back from the farmer's market, this is the stand that I kind of have. And I have kind of set up my fake stand just so I can make sure that I'm providing the best signs. But it also stores my medication, so I can ship it out. So this is also the shipping production room. And recently, this is another table that I got about 6 weeks ago. I got a stainless steel table for the production room here this is the shipping production room. Serious wind moving on. Dang. I don't know if you heard that wind howling, but gosh. It was howling through that front door of my house, and it howls when it blows just right. But it must be a storm moving in. So yeah, we upgraded this room, and eventually all this equipment will go into the new lab, which is kind of what I'm working on now. So this is going to be the new lab for the mushroom business. And right now we tore out the windows. We'll eventually replace the windows, but we got to do a little bit of some work on the walls and do some painting, and then we'll have to put a new flooring in and a couple pieces of new trim, and then we'll start moving equipment in here. So we'll probably have two more weeks out, and there'll be my logo painted on the wall here. That's what I'm going to do as well. So it definitely sounds like there's a mean looking storm moving through. Anybody who lives in Quincy, Illinois, let's just check that radar real quick. And we are at 10 minutes. How many people we got in that giveaway? 20 people. I'm just going to make sure there ain't no tornado moving through. Oh, man, that is a hell of a sell. It's going to pour rain here in about 2 hours, but that's a hell of a storm system moving through. It's going along, and that's not including even the new the new piece of equipment I got downstairs, the flow hood, which will eventually is going to be in that room. And it actually, the flow hood is so big that I'm going to have to buy 2 stainless steel tables to hold it. But it's going to make, like I said, enough space for 2 people to work. So when I hire my employee, even when I'm working at my other job, my employee will be able to come in my house and work in the lab and do, whatever I train her to do. So that's why it's a big deal. Beforehand, I was in a 5x10 tent. Not only was it hard to work in there, but it would be hard to train somebody in there. There was not a lot of room. It was cramped. I didn't have the proper flow hood like I do now. So not only am I upgrading the equipment, but I'm also upgrading the room and the space, which is going to allow me to train an employee, increase production. So overall, it's a really big deal that all this is happening. So that's what I do every year, every season. I could have increased my profits this year, but I worked more on reaching a level where I'm a lot more sustainable and increasing my productivity. So I've had to kind of decrease my productivity for a while to increase my productivity, if that makes sense. I've kind of had to, because when you upgrade stuff, you kind of have to stop doing things for a while you're upgrading it, and then you also can't do other things like go to the farmers markets every weekend. But eventually, next season, I really believe the year of 2025 with my mushroom business, we go into that farmers market year, spring 2025. I will be at full capacity of what I'm capable of doing. I'll have an employee who's trained, who to not only to do the work, even if I can't do it when I'm busy, which is the ultimate goal. Sometimes during the summer, I work, during the best times to grow mushrooms of the year, I work 75 hours at my other job. So having somebody else with the same capability to help me grow the mushrooms is really the level I've always wanted to achieve, so I can keep my other job. Because my other job, it pays well, it comes with a lot of benefits, and it has a future that I enjoy as well. And always have the mushroom business. It was always a goal to hire somebody to eventually help run it. Tornado sirens going off. Which are you south? Depends on where you're at, but that is a hell of a line of storms. That is for sure. Check it out there. And that's where I'm located, and you can see the storms that are coming this way. But pretty long line of storms all the way from Michigan to Kansas. So there's a lot of people are going to be getting rain tonight. But some of those storms do look mean. I don't see no tornado warnings yet. I don't see any. But man, the Jamaica's getting pounded by Hurricane 5 storm as well. It's just not a really good day for storms. Night storms too, especially ones that contain tornadoes. They're just dangerous. So it will disperse before it gets here. Yeah, you're a lot more south, Mike. Looks like it's going to go north of me for the next hour and a half, and then they'll hit us. I'm going to the lake tomorrow, and I was hoping it was going to be in the 90s, but it's going to be cool in the morning. So it's like 60s, low 60s in the morning, which, like, if you get up in the morning, you go out in the lake, on the dock of the lake. I love doing that. Drinking a cup of coffee, smoking a bowl at like 7 in the morning out in the lake. It's really cool. It's nice and cool. It's a little bit cooler because that water helps cool the air too. So it'll be beautiful mornings to wake up to, but it's going to be about 86 high there. But I kind of like it hot and during those times because then I'll just jump in the water. I know there's some people out there that live near Lake of the Ozarks, and that's where I'll be going. Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri. Got 22 entries in here. Let's give away that other $10, and then we bring that other screen up. Let me load my bowl and hit it, and then we'll give this away. And then we'll hit that hashtag for Lions Mane, and then we're going to go downstairs, and I'll show you this awesome new unit that I bought. Which I was on Gabe's live earlier and kind of showed it off. That way, if a tornado does hit, I'm in my lab. I could be in my lab and I wouldn't even know there's a tornado hitting because it's in the interior of my basement. So there'd be a storm going on, but hopefully I would hear it. But you couldn't be in any safer spot in my house, I guess. You know, you're in the most interior room of the basement. Cheers to you, Lisa, as well. If you believe, it'll happen, JD. I spent years believing, and now I feel like the universe keeps giving me all the luck I ever needed. So hopefully everybody stays safe. No outside wall safety. So let's hit it. Good luck, everybody. 22 entries. Dr. Jason. Dr. Jason, are you here? Congratulations. Give you the soft golf clap. Excellent, excellent. There he is. Dr. Jason, congratulations. Let me write your name down. Please send me your Cash App or Venmo. If you don't have that, we'll work out some other way to pay you. But hopefully most people have that. Write down your name because I'll forget it. Smoking too much tonight. But I'm going on vacation tomorrow night. I'm around my family. I don't typically smoke as much around the family, so I'm kind of enjoying it now, but I don't be smoking it much for 5 days. Nobody in my family smokes cannabis, unfortunately. Anybody else out there like that, where your family doesn't really smoke and you're the only black sheep? I shouldn't hate because marijuana's not for everybody anyway. So but we're gonna give that one more hashtag. Give away a bottle of that Lion's Mane. And then go make a few bags of mushrooms. We'll go the Lion's Mane. There we go. I'm not leaving yet, Rose. If you're leaving, you have a great night as well. But I should be live for about another half hour. We've been live for an hour and 9 minutes. This may be the last time I have to be able to go live until maybe next weekend. That's why I kind of wanted to do it. So it might be another 10 to 12 days before I go live again. We're just in the busy season right now. I'm in the busy mushroom season. And don't forget that I'm here. I know that my sales do decrease the less I podcast, and it makes sense. People sometimes just forget that I'm here. But I'm still here selling the same stuff. It may take me some days, a few days longer to ship out, but I do make up for that. Sometimes I expedite the shipping if I do take a day or two to ship it out. But I'm still here. Great River Mushrooms and Herbal is still here. Just because sometimes I don't go live for a couple weeks. Doesn't mean I don't exist. Don't forget that, guys. But it is really intriguing how January I had the most podcasts. I was when I did the most podcasting I've ever done, and I had record sales as well. But it helps get your word out there and your message and your name when you do podcasts. It does help very much a lot. And currently out of FICO at the moment. I know some people messaged me today about that, and I'm working on that. I am trying to make. Let me bring myself up a little bigger. I'm trying to make a new device to help me extract the FICO. I'm making a professional vice that has not only that uses the 12-ton pump, and will squeeze everything out to extract the FICO. Because right now I'm having issues doing that. So I'll probably do that next week when I come back from vacation. I know what I need to buy, and then I kind of have to put it together and make it work. Awesome, Lisa. Appreciate it. Rose, I don't know. This is probably the time of my life, the least amount of people I know where to get mushrooms from. So I have my own supply. I do not use them that often, so I haven't been looking for years. I don't ever sell my own stash either, because otherwise I don't have any for myself. But, the last time I bought some were almost a year ago. I don't know how to get a hold of that guy anymore. And they weren't that good either. But I did grow them in the past. I'm not saying I won't in the future. But when I do, you'll know. And I do miss doing that part. It was always so intriguing. And I always found it helpful to help people as well. They help. They saved my life. Magic mushrooms saved my life. And I know they'll save other people's lives as well. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate it. No problem. For sure, Rose. Best places in probably somewhere in the community. That's where I ended up finding them last time. Somebody found them in the community for me. So sometimes just message around. Somebody will eventually know somebody. Or somebody may be here in the comments that may have them, and they may message you right now. Who knows? You got some Moby Dick. Damn. Hell yeah. Well, the lion's mane definitely help. That's what we're giving away here. We're giving away the lion's mane capsules. They help with focus, energy, stomach issues. There's a host of things. And if you actually go to the website, greatrivermushrooms.com, I'll post that out there. If you go to that website, there's actually a lot of reviews on there to kind of tell what it does. There's some more information on the website too. But yeah, there's a website right there. And a lot more information, a lot more. I always find reviews informational, because then they kind of tell, because they kind of do different things for different people. But really, They provide a lot of energy, a lot of focus, and they also prevent Alzheimer's. So can't really beat that. But every day I take the lion's mane, take 2 of those, and then I have a reishi turkey tail lion's mane mix that has 166 milligrams of each mushroom in it, and I end up taking 2 of those as well. So then I'm getting about 1,250 milligrams of lion's mane, and then I'm getting about 250 milligrams of turkey tail and reishi. Really see a profound difference in energy. I actually did not take it today, but I can tell when I forget to take it because I'm feeling a little more lethargic, slower. But I'm taking it every day of my vacation for sure because I want to feel good while I'm resting. So I'm going to be taking a lot of my CBD, CBG, and a lot of the lion's mane. It's definitely raining out. And I think I need some nasal spray because my nose is kind of drying up, and that's why I found it sounded a little nasally. All of a sudden, dried out. That's fine. Like I said, if you order tonight, I can get it shipped out. But once you order past tonight, I can't because I'll be on vacation till Sunday. Yeah, the small victories that lion's mane really helps with. I would call them small victories every day, and that's really what help with depression. Is if you stay focused with life, I've noticed this because I have bipolar, and I've been 2019. I was in a really dark place, and I always refer back to that place then and then now. And the lion's mane basically helps keep you focused so you don't go back to that place. So you basically stay busy with life. You don't sit around and dwell on the past and dwell on things that can kind of bring you down. The lion's mane helps through that depression by keeping you more focused on things in life that are more important than the things that aren't, if you know what I mean. That's a big thing that I notice as well when I take them daily. I don't stay focused on petty things. I stay more focused on things that keep me happy. And that has something to do with it has an effect on the nerve growth factor in our brains, which it's a complex thing in our body, and I have more information on the website about that. But you can also research that on the internet, the nerve growth factor and what it actually does. If I remember. Yeah, nerve growth factor is a protein that belongs to the neurotrophic family and regulates the growth, survival, and maintenance of certain neurons. So it's very helpful with lion's mane to help with those issues in our brain. That's also what psychedelic mushrooms do too. They have a lot stronger effect. When you take psychedelic mushrooms, they almost completely eliminate any petty concern for anything petty in the world. And that's one thing that I have always loved about magic mushrooms is how they remove that petty feeling you have, and they remove grudges. They give you patience. They teach you forgiveness. I mean, the list goes on what magic mushrooms, how healthy they are for all those things. And they're all very important things that we all need to work on as a society too. So, but focusing on the good stuff, letting go of the petty stuff is very hard in today's world. It's not an easy task because we live in a world where kind of toxicity rules, with all these social media, the media, wars, bad things going on in the world. It can very easily become depressing if you allow it to. So there are always bad things going on in the world, but it doesn't mean you can't be happy. 10-gallon bottle. Don't have a lot of patience. I say it teaches you patience and forgiving people. And I've used magic mushrooms to help me kind of work on my relationship with my mother. And it has given me a lot more patience. And then it also has allowed me to put myself in her shoes. So it's not, so you understand more, you're patient, more empathetic. So, which is very important when you're trying to fix a relationship with somebody, to have those things and bring them to the table. So I've actually, it's bizarre. And to say that I've used magic mushrooms to work on the relationship with my mother, but I haven't done it in a while because I haven't done mushrooms. But every time I do a large dose, they always bring me straight and center back to that, because my subconscious knows how important that relationship is. So when it's important to your subconscious, these mushrooms will target you back to the dead center and be like, listen, this is important in your life. You need to focus on this. You need to do these certain steps to achieve that. And that's really how the mushrooms really help you get there. I don't have a reliable source. I don't know if you were asking somebody else, Rose. But my reliable source in the past was myself. I actually grew them when I was heavily using them. So for about 6 months, I was using them. I was doing about 5 grams every weekend. But I was actually growing them myself then, so down supply. But I grew them for about a year, quit for about 6 months, started growing them again for 6 months, and then I quit. I haven't grown them for about 18 months. That's hard, Shane. You always message JD. I don't know. People, a lot of these people in the community, so definitely use at your own discretion. But JD definitely seems like a stand-up guy. Yeah, but there's a lot of I've heard. There's a place organization called Mothers on Mushrooms, and they talk about that same thing. Maybe not an autistic kid, but the single parents, and they're raising a kid by their own. And they have that struggle, and they lose their patience. And they actually talk about how microdosing allows them to be a better parent. So that's where the patient part comes in, especially making you a better parent. You are more empathetic. You're more patient. You have the more of the ability to be outside of your normal self and see things from a different perspective, which is really important when you're dealing with children. Man, I need to get some nasal spray real quick. Nose is I just needed some saline mist. That helps a little bit. But I was gonna hit this bowl and then go downstairs and kind of show you the mushroom lab machine. I'm gonna go on down there now. That's hard, Shane. We also have a ton of mushrooms growing. I've already harvested a bunch of them earlier, and I'm gonna have to harvest more in the morning when I sell them. But look at all. Got a whole bunch growing over here. Those are all mushrooms. Got a whole bunch over here. We got pink oyster, blue oyster. We got some yellow oyster. We got some chestnuts. We got a big old basket of chestnuts right here. We got some pink oysters, lion's mane. There's a tons of blue oyster in here. These are all blue oyster, and these should all be done in the morning. So we got a big old batch of blue oyster there. And we got, these are all bags that have been going for, they're about on their third flush. So they basically, the first flush, you're going to get this massive flush. You can see this is the first flush right here in one of these bags. So this is one of my 9-pound bags. First flush is usually about 2-3 pounds. So usually the first flush is going to be 3 pounds of mushrooms, and then you're going to have second flush usually about 1.5 pounds, and then your third flush is usually going to be something like this. So this is your third or fourth flush. You're still getting some mushrooms, stragglers. You can also put these in water too. So if you flush them in water and put them back in here, you will get a massive last flush. A lot of the times the water is hydrated out. We also got some bags hiding behind here. You can't see them, but let me grab one. These are my small bags. Look at all of them. So these will all be done by the morning. So we got about 5 hours. More like 9 hours before I'll pick them, and these things will all finish. So in the last couple hours, these things have gotten out more. It happens very fast, especially with the blue oysters. And I'm going to be on vacation, so I can't leave any mushrooms in here, because any mushrooms I leave in here are going to rot, because they grow so fast, and then the other mushrooms eventually regurgitate them. So if you leave them in here too long, what happens is the mycelium will actually re-eat it, because they're actually, I need to move that, they're carnivores. Gotta put my screen down to do it. Here we go. They're carnivores. Basically, they'll eat themselves. So if you leave the mushroom, it'll eventually eat itself, and then it's never good. No, blue oyster can never be psychedelic. These are all gourmet mushrooms. This isn't even how you grow psychedelic mushrooms anyway. The method to grow psychedelic mushrooms is completely different than your method to grow gourmets. You don't grow psychedelic mushrooms in bags. There are people who do. It does work, but it's not as easy as the other method. But it's called a shoebox method. You grow them in mono tubs, plastic tubs. You can use all kinds of different things and kind of retrofit them with filters to grow magic mushrooms. And that's the way more efficient way to do it. Gourmet mushrooms, they like to be grown in bags or buckets. They use different substrate. They actually use coconut. Gourmet mushrooms use soy hull and hardwood pellets in water. Psychedelic mushrooms tend to use coconut fibers. Vermiculite and gypsum. So you usually use those 3 ingredients to grow magic mushrooms: gypsum, vermiculite, coca coir. Coca coir specifically, a lot of that, because that's the main media to grow it. There's none of those 3 ingredients in any of those 3 bags, so that's why the method to use to grow mushrooms, magic mushrooms, and gourmet mushrooms is quite different. But I enjoy growing them both. One of them is legal to grow, and the other is not yet. But yeah, coca coir, vermiculite, and gypsum. Stepped on a dead slug. So that's another thing about this fruiting tent. It, especially in the summer, attracts slugs. I do not know how they get down here. It's very interesting that they find the mushrooms, because this room is completely sealed off from the rest of the basement. See, there's a concrete wall here, and then there's about a foot perimeter around this whole tent. And I don't know how they get in there. They're massive slugs. And we have our air conditioning unit over here. This is all of our filtration system that's kind of not working at the moment, because I'm kind of retrofitting with something new. And then we got our old production room here. We got a stainless steel table in here. We just recently upgraded that about 2 weeks ago. And I actually took a table out of here because I'm using it in my lab now. But eventually we will have a stainless steel table here, there, as well as behind me. And this is the production room. This is where we make all the bags to do all our gourmet mushrooms. Our mixing machine over here. This tent over here is actually a tent that is inside of the lab, but eventually will be part of the production room here, and we will turn it into we're going to make a sauna steamer in there. It's going to be a large sterilization device. That'll probably be something I do this winter. But it'll allow me to sterilize 50 bags at a time instead of using my pressure cookers, and it'll be a lot safer. So I can only do sterilize 6 bags at a time, and if you take that times 50 bags, what's the math on that? We're talking nearly 8 or 9 times, 9 batches on my pressure cooker for 2.5 hours. I have to do that 9 times. So the sterilization device that I'm going to be building that will be in that room will allow me to do 50 bags in about 15 hours at one time. So really allow me to shorten the time period that I spend on sterilizing bags. Because it's really hard for me to do that when I get home from work, turn the pressure cooker on 2.5 hours, 9 times a week. Not really manageable. These are all our cannabis tents. Not much in the cannabis going on right now. This tent's actually empty, and so is that one. We have 3 empty cannabis tents and 1 with some plants in it, but my cannabis plants come last. It's so dark in here, you can't even see me. There we go. Cannabis plants come last to my mushroom business. So I have my main job, my roofing job, that comes first. Then we have our mushroom business, and then we have cannabis. And cannabis kind of takes a back seat sometimes when everything else is busy. Here is all our production bags. I'll turn this other light on. This is the production holding tent room, tent table, I guess. And we're running out of room. So these are all shiitake bags up here. We have about 30 shiitake bags in here. I don't even know. I haven't counted them in a while. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We got about 23 shiitake bags in here. And each shiitake bag produces about 5 pounds of shiitakes. And they're pretty interesting looking because you can see the brown in here. And then we have this white one here, and it actually looks like popcorn. If you look real closely, it looks like popcorn. This is actually how they start out. So this one is only a week or so old, and it's just looking like mycelium. So eventually it turns into the popcorn. These actually take 2 months to grow this way, and then it actually starts to turn this brownish color. And when you're at about 60 to 70% brown in the bag is when it's ready to go into the fruiting stage. And the shiitake is grown very differently than your other species because you actually have to expose the whole bag. The whole block comes out of the bag when you put it into the fruiting chamber. So it's grown differently. It's a lot messier. And it produces this blood-like stuff in here. You can see this red stuff in here. It's actually a liquid. And it looks like blood when you get it on a table. It's a little bit darker red than blood, but it is the enzyme that the mushroom makes to basically not only to grow, but it is its immune system and other things as well. It keeps pests away, but mostly it is in its immune system, and that's why it forms this liquid. It's kind of going out looking for anything, protecting it, so nothing else grows in the bag. So very interesting how the shiitakes grow. And like I said, they take anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks to fully mature. They sit on this shelf before they're ready to go. So we got one from May 6th. So we're almost 2 months. And this bag could probably go into fruiting stage. So basically the fruiting stage, it's just going to be a high humidity environment. It's going to make it fruit. And it's going to trigger it to fruit. And most of the time, it'll start growing the mushrooms in here before I do it. if I wait any longer, I'm going to start growing mushrooms. But we have a whole bunch of bags, and this is basically going to be the shiitake holding center eventually. See how big it is. We got 3 shelves, and then we got a shelf up there. But eventually, this will only hold shiitakes. That is the goal. The goal is to keep a stock of 80 to 90 bags in inventory and harvest them on a weekly basis, just so we can keep our customers happy. Shiitakes are definitely an inventory item that I want to have that are definitely going to be about a 50% of what I sell. Not only is the money good, but I also have a Japanese restaurant that wants shiitakes, and right now he is buying them from 3 hours away from town. So I believe that market may result in 20 to 30 pounds of shiitakes a week that I may be able to sell there. And I have 2 other restaurants that are very interested as well. So the shiitakes also store extremely well. They last for nearly 2 weeks. They store very well in the fridge. They resell well. So there's a lot of reasons to choose the shiitake as a commercial business. And it's something that eventually will be about 50% of what I offer to my customers. So this shelf is very important for that. You have to have a lot of space to store them, that because they're gonna go for 2 months. You gotta have the room to provide for that. So that's what this is. Eventually, I'm gonna run out of room, and that's a good thing to have. And when you start running out of room because you're selling so much, but when we get to that, we will solve that problem. We do have a lot more room over here, and I've always said that I will start moving cannabis tents. Sorry to say that, but I love growing cannabis, but I will move the tents in order to make expand my business. Here we go. We're going into the lab. I forgot I left this on, but that's okay. It's gonna be nice and clean air in here. Here is the new unit. Let me bring myself up bigger. I'm going to bring that hashtag banner down. All right. There we go. We'll give that giveaway, and then I'll bring myself up full screen. But this is the new unit I just bought. I know that post is kind of in the way. But it is nice, fancy looking. Isn't it beautiful? But this is the flow hood. This is the new device I bought. It actually is on right now, but you can't really hear it. But this is basically bringing fresh, sterile air into this pre-filter, bringing it out in front of me, so I'm able to work in a sterile environment. This thing is basically a game changer for my business. I haven't even owned it for 24 hours. Well, I guess I have. But I ended up finding it on the Facebook Marketplace for a very reasonable price. It came with 2 filters, so I don't have to worry about a filter for about 3 years. And you're welcome to message me, JD, and I'll tell you how much I paid for it. But I don't like to publicly tell, because then I feel like I'm flaunting how much I paid for it. And I don't want to do that. It was expensive, but it wasn't expensive as a new one, that's for sure. Because you know how much these things cost. They can cost as much as a used car. But we have a stainless steel table that it's not big enough, so basically I'm going to have to buy 2 stainless steel tables, and then I'll have to back this unit up again once I'm in the larger room. And we have our awesome pinkish purple machine to seal our bags up. So we have a lot of work to do in here. These are all the bags, all our genetics, and I'm trying to use up some of the older ones. So we have shiitake, we have some lion's mane, blue oyster, and I don't try to overdo it because unless it's shiitake, it's hard sometimes to sell blue oyster and shiitake. Those are the 2 easiest mushrooms to sell, and I can sell blue oysters all day to a mushroom guy, to a farm stand, But some of the other mushrooms are valuable as well. Like the pink oyster draws people in at the farmers market. When they see a pink mushroom, they come over, they start talking to me, and when people start talking to you, usually you make a sale. They become very interested. So the pink oyster easily draws 20 to 30% more people to your farm stand. So I always suggest having it just for that fact. You may not sell a lot of it, but it draws people in, and that's always a good thing when you have to draw people into your stand. But I have increased a lot of sales of pink oyster. Last summer, I didn't sell a lot of it. Even when I had it offered, nobody was buying it. This summer, every time I've had it, I've sold out. We have some pink oyster, and these are all colonized grains. So all of these are my grains. They're all colonized. They're all ready to inoculate. You can see all that mycelium in there. This is blue oyster. Blue oyster is always a very clean, pretty mushroom mycelium. Looks awesome. Transfers over well. So we're going to do a couple bags here. That's what I was going to do in here. Let me suit up here. Show you how I do. And I'm out of gloves. Let me go grab the box real quick. I had to run all the way upstairs. We got gloves all over the house and none down here. So again, we use a lot of Germex. Got a big old bottle up here. Always use that while I'm in here. Sometimes I make a mess and get it all over too, like that just happened. Germex, gloves. Then we have a bottle of alcohol. We have a bottle of 70% isopropyl alcohol. And isopropyl works a lot better because it sits on the surface longer and kills more germs. And JD, it's been an adventure to build this. So it's been about 3 years to build this whole room. So eventually, next about 2 weeks, we're going to be in our actual room. This is actually a 5x10 tent, but it's worked very well for me for about I would say more like 2.5 years that I've been growing mushrooms. So always remember, upgrade slowly, because you can't like all of a sudden start growing a shitload of mushrooms and have a market to sell them for. You kind of got to work your way up to it. Find your niche, find your customers, and then find the products that sell the best, and eventually go into that. That takes time and patience. You can't just so sometimes going low and slow and kind of working your way up with, buying equipment here slowly and working your way up is the best way to go. Because I see people do it all the time. They'll get into mushroom growing, and I've seen it not around here, but on Facebook groups, and they'll go all balls to the wall and they'll grow a shitload of mushrooms, but then they don't have anybody to sell it to. And when you first, if you start off like that, you overgrow what you can sell, and you only have so many days to sell your mushrooms. Blue oysters, you have about 4 days to sell them before they start going bad. Shiitakes you have about 10 days to sell them before they start going bad. Pink oysters are like 2 days. Like if you have like 2 to 3 days to sell pink oysters before they go bad. So you gotta always remember that. It's not like a tomato where you can pick a tomato and be like, okay, I got about 2 weeks to sell this tomato before it starts going bad. I wish it was that easy. We're gonna do some shiitake bags. We got our 9-pound shiitake bags, and these are a little bit different formula than our regular bags. Shiitakes are 70% hardwood pellets, 30% soy hull. So a little bit different. We're gonna pull down our these are our 4-pound blocks of shiitake colonized grain. And we want to use our older bag. This is our older bag. So we're just gonna punch it, break it up, and we're gonna mix this in with our other stuff. And we don't take much. This will be able to make about 4 of our 9-pound bags. And also, don't forget that giveaway, guys. That the Lions made. We're gonna give away a bottle of that. Hit that hashtag. Hit that like button, please. Well, anybody who likes mycology. So we usually wipe down our bags. We usually spray alcohol on it. Do it a nice wipe. And then I just dropped my rag on the floor. I needed a new rag anyway. But once it falls on the floor, I wouldn't even risk picking it up because you're just risking contamination then. So we're making sure we're working in front of a sterile environment. That's flow hood. That's why the being so large is so helpful to me. So eventually when I have 2 people here, I'll be able to work on this side. She'll be able to work over here. There's plenty of room. So right now I have this kind of in the way. But once I have a larger table, this will not be in my way. And as much. Right now I only have 13 inches workstation here. I don't know if you can see it. I got 13 inches. Once I get another table, I should have about 20 to 24 inches. So we're gonna have a lot more space. A lot more space for activities. That's for sure. So we're gonna open this bag up in front of the slow hood. Open it right up. You're gonna have a pair of scissors here. We're gonna make sure those scissors are clean as well. Do not mind spraying a little alcohol in there. Also, try not to breathe into the bag. So I'm talking over here. I'm not going to talk over there and breathe over that bag. So if you hear me silent for a minute, that's what I'm doing. Now, we don't have the proper table yet, so I'm kind of having to rigging this up on my knees. But it's been working earlier. I made it work. But eventually, when this table's larger, this will be so much easier to do. But I'm making it work for now. Trying to make it work. So I have to find the creases on the bag, and sometimes it's not easy to do. And then we're going to put our device down, and we put 2 seals on it. I'd seal it twice, just so I don't spill anything. We got 2 really good seals, so now we're going to do our shake. And we have, take that back. Really burn them through the bag. I've never had that happen. That's a first. So let's try that again. That could have been bad. That whole bag could have gone all over the floor. It was odd. I think it was just a fluke. It burned a hole in it randomly. Sometimes weird stuff happens, but it looks good now. We're basically going to give it, we put about 8, we try to put about 8 to 12 ounces of grain in there, colonized grain. I usually just eyeball it. But I used to weigh it out. It's okay to weigh it out at first, but eventually when you're going commercial scale and you want to do things faster, you're going to get better at eyeballing how much grain. And it's not as important either because it'll still colonize, but the more grain you put in, the faster it will colonize the bag. I have a blue oyster species that is super aggressive that you probably only really need like 5 ounces of grain in to really get the bag going. So 5 ounces of grain in a 9-pound bag, that does not take much. And then eventually these bags will look like the bag that's outside the tent that I was just showing you. This is a shiitake bag, and in 2 months it will be ready to grow mushrooms. So, but also it tells the price of the item too. So the fact that shiitakes take 2 months to grow is reason that they are twice as much as any other mushroom. So always remember that the longer a mushroom takes to grow really negates the price on the market. And that is why morels sell for as much as they do. And $50 a pound is I feel like that's a very fair price for a morel mushroom for how rare they are. So people complain about that. I always like, well, I mean, you don't have to pay it, but for how rare the mushroom is worth every dollar at $50 a pound. Shiitakes, they sell for usually $12 per a half pound. That's what I sell them at. Again, we made sure that our bags are labeled with shiitake. I don't know if you can see it. We wrote shiitake on it, and that we put that on there when we first make the bag because the ingredients in this bag are different than our other mushrooms. Do not want to confuse them or mix them up with the other bags because maybe mushrooms will not grow. And then the bag goes out on the storage room, and then we move on to the next one. And we have a lot of bags to do still. I'm not going to do them all tonight. Having this new lab is really going to make it a lot easier, so you know. I'd love to try it. First time for everything, right, JD? You don't forget to hit that hashtag. Thank you guys again for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. I can't exactly show the comments up on the screen when I'm over here, though. I also like this. This piece of equipment is so much quieter than my other flow hood that I had. It made it harder to join podcasts and be able to hear other people. That was a lot more control. Same thing. Folding her down, sealing her up. I usually, like I said, dude, seal. I might about knock my flow hood over. It's always best to seal it twice. That way, if you have one bad seal, at least it's not going to break through and make a. It can be a hellacious mess in here if your whole bag goes everywhere. I usually do 3 seals if I question 2 of them because 3 of them, it don't hurt to take extra time to do that. We got 2 solid seals. Now we're going to go for the shake. So this is really a technique that you got to learn as well, how to shake a mushroom bag. And I always peel away the outside of it to drop the colonized grain down the side. So you're going to pull on the side of it, drop the grain down. Then the grain will fall towards the bottom of the bag. Then I give it a nice shake until I don't see any grain left. And this whole process usually takes about a minute per bag. But that's about what you want to spend with it. Taking all that grain out, getting it all, you want to evenly spread through the substrate. Sometimes you got to toss it in the air, kind of flips. That's why you want to seal the bag there. I've never broken one open, knock on wood, inside the lab, but I have spilled it. So that's pretty good. We want to make sure kind of press down the substrate. We want it to be a little bit hard, but we don't want to press down too hard. And then we got another shiitake block ready to go. Write down the date. This will be beginning of September. This will be ready to grow. So ready for the future. And we got a couple more. Trying to get rid of all these shiitake blocks. I did a lot of shiitake blocks last week. I ended up making 15 shiitake 9-pound blocks. We got quite a bit to go still. Would love to be your protege and make this look so easy. Well, it used to look really hard, I'll tell you that much. When I first started growing mushrooms, I had no idea what I was doing. And I had to learn all these techniques of how to clean the bag, how to toss the bag, there's no instruction video out there like how to do all of it. Just kind of put your own information together. Seal her up again, and each mushroom has its own odor too. So this shiitake has an interesting smell. It smells like damp woods. The golden oyster smells like honeydew. So all these mushrooms, all the mycelium also has its own odor too. So it's really interesting, and I like smelling them and getting used to how each one of them smells. You can smell when it's healthy. You can kind of smell when it has an immune response, which it's killing something in there, so it'll kind of smell slightly different. It's still okay to use. You just have to be a little more wary of what's inside of it. Write the date on it. Give it a nice mix. You see quite a bit of grain in here, which it doesn't hurt with the shiitake. We want to make sure it's plenty of grain. Give it a nice coil. You smell the cube. Yeah. Yeah, those smell interesting too. I always thought the pink, the golden oyster, which this is the golden oyster mycelium, it actually grows really, really thick. You can't even see the grain that it has grown so thick. Not that you can really see the light. It's an interesting mycelium, and the first time I smelled golden oyster, I was like, "Holy shit!" It smells exactly like a honeydew mushroom or a honeydew melon, like to a T. So it has to have similar terpenes in it, I'm assuming, to have the exact same smell. But nature's intriguing, man. The fact that there's so many similar smells across so many different spectrums of nature. A nice mix. And like I said, the biggest thing that I always say is that if you got to get the colonized grain to the bottom of the bag. That is something that I learned the hard way for months when I first started growing. And I wasn't mixing the bags thoroughly enough, and I was getting really inconsistent growth rate. You got to make sure you get those grains to the bottom. No matter what it takes. We got another shiitake bag. We're running out of room out here, guys. Some of these bags are ready to go into colonization. Like we have some pink oysters, some blue oysters that I'll probably convert over to the fruiting stage in the morning. Another shiitake bag. I think we can do, let's do one more bag. We got a bunch of grain. Maybe one bag and then we'll do a transfer. So we do have other grain bags right here that we also transfer into so we can have future. So this will colonize as well for future grain. So we'll probably put a little bit in here of that. It's important to keep the colony going. And I always prefer doing cloning, which basically you're just not really cloning, you're just transferring from one bag to another. It is the best way to commercially grow mushrooms, because if you start dealing with agar and you start dealing with liquid mycelium, you're gonna have more contamination rates, because it's so much harder to control those substrates. So I've always stuck to this method because of that. If you go into an agar, which I do have agar in my other part of my lab here, I do mess around with it, but I do not use it for my commercial side of my business. Just sticking to colonizing grain. That's where your money's at. We're gonna stick on that. That was a beautiful seal. So we got a little bit of grain left that we're going to put the rest of in the other grain bag. And we'll do a grain transfer and save it for another day. So basically we'll turn that 8 ounces of grain into 4 pounds of grain. And 4 pounds of grain, it'll be 4 pounds of grain in about 10 days once it's fully colonized. And all happens very quickly. I'm not going to seal there. There we go. So we'll seal that one here in a minute, but we want to get that other grain in here real quick. We'll seal that grain bag up. If we just use the whole wheat berries, whole wheat grain, that's what we use. I think that's what it's called. Oat. It's called oat grain. It's really cheap in my town, but I would rather use rye berries, which I do use sometimes, but they are 3 times as much as these other grains that I use. I always say find something local to you that works, and so far these have worked. They're a lot harder to grow magic mushrooms with, so I use rye berries to grow magic mushrooms. We're just throwing some grain in there, spread it around, and And there's some more shiitake. We'll set it up on the shelf and it'll be colonized in 10 days. Nothing goes to waste for sure. No problem, Shane. Appreciate you joining me. Yeah, there's a lot of future business in mushrooms as it continues to get bigger. And it's just a matter of educating people on the power of mushrooms and then having them selling them your product. So we got the rest. This is the rest of the shiitake. We end up doing 4 shiitake bags with just that 4-pound grain bag, and then we got to transfer out of the 2. So it really came out even and made 4 bags. Always a good thing. I used to sell grain bags. I don't really mess with it anymore because I don't have the time. And like I mentioned earlier, I had to stick to things that were more profitable. So I'd sell 1 grain bag every 2 months. So it wasn't really worth me trying to commercialize that. Plus, they don't always work. I've kind of narrowed it down to my own method of making my grain, but if somebody else tried it, they may fail. But it's really trial and error, working down your own method of doing things, and then doing that. But I've learned how to do every single process of my grow. I've learned how to make the dishes. I've learned how to make the grain. And I learned how to make the substrate. I know there are people out there who say, well, buy the substrate from other people and save money, but when you actually learn how to do everything, you appreciate each step more, and you understand it more, and you learn how to cut corners, and where to save money at. Like this bag, I actually used to be a 12-pound bag, and then I went to an 11, then I went to a 10, and then I eventually did more research and found out that a 9-pound bag produces the most mushroom per pound. So you want that 9-pound range, but it took me 2 years to get to this. With trial and error, it doesn't happen overnight. You really have to try different methods and do your research. I get a lot of information from YouTubers who are willing to share. But check out Southwest Mushrooms on YouTube. He is amazing. He is a guy I idolize him. He is somebody I'd love to meet someday and to tell him that he is the reason that I got into mushroom farming. Southwest Mushrooms, check him out. He has awesome videos. He's basically where I want to be in about 8 years. He is far ahead of me because he has all this equipment. It's awesome. I love his setup. Everything that I do is based off of what he kind of does. He grows in tents. He uses these equipment that I use. And, I love him. He's full of knowledge. He's very educated on what he's doing. And he's the guy I learned how to do a lot of this from. And he still makes videos to this day. He's awesome guy. Someday I'll meet him. I might go to his shop and be like, you have no idea how much you've influenced me. But I found him on a mushroom trip one time, and that's how I ended up watching a bunch of his videos, being so intrigued by growing mushrooms and all of it that I went in deep. But I did one thing. That's what I wanted to do was all them bags. We'll give away this lion's mane and call it a night. Let me go back upstairs here. And then I'm going to come back down and do some work by myself without interruption. I might do about 8 more bags, and I'm going to be probably done. It's so much hotter upstairs in my house. Still got 12 lovely people here. I appreciate y'all joining me tonight. Let's get back to that hashtag. And I don't know why it's so hot in my house. No, that's because I turned the thermostat up. That would be why. But good luck, everybody. Mike, you might want to. You can hit that again. That the lion's mane. And I'll ship that out in the morning with my other order. Please, if you do win, please shoot me that address so I can ship it out. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait 5 days. So, good luck, everybody. Let's hit it. Yo, we got everybody in this. We got 17 people. Good luck. Janet. Congratulations, Janet. You still here? Is Janet still here? So far, everybody's been here in the giveaways, huh? Open. Janet, are you here? Just going to keep applauding. No more applauses. Is she here? I have not seen her name yet. I'm going to give it 30 more seconds and we'll respin it, guys. We get that saxophone in there a little bit. But no tags. Can't tag JD. I don't know if you knew that, but I was going to respin anyway, so I don't like that here. So good luck, everybody. We'll spin this again. Oh, that's lightning. It's all right. I didn't say that before to new people in here. But Charles, I see you just coming. But most of the people who do podcasting don't like tagging. So, Charles is here. Awesome, Charles. Congratulations on the win. If you could shoot me your address, and I'll ship out that bottle of Lion's Mane before I leave for vacation. Get that shipped out to you. Congratulations, though. That storm's moving in here. Hopefully, don't lose power. Charles McWhorter. Appreciate you guys joining me the other night. Congratulations again. Let me get one more bowl in with you guys. We'll call it a night. But thanks for joining me. Hopefully you guys learned something. I definitely appreciate you guys joining me, and I do appreciate that new piece of equipment that I had. I actually enjoy being down there, and I'm going to go back down there and do some more bags. But appreciate you guys joining me tonight. Cheers again. And I hope everybody has a great night as well. Again, I am Dan, Mushroom Man, and go check out my website, greatformushrooms.com. We have a lot of herbal medicine and Pico too, but just currently sold out of that for a little bit, but we'll have that back on. But you guys have a much appreciated and great 4th of July. It is coming up in 2 days, and I hope you guys enjoy the holiday, spend it with some family, eat some good food, and I will see you later. So, peace, guys. Wanted to hear with the Great for Mushrooms commercial, but Much love. See you guys later.